Good morning, everybody. Let's get started. Give me a half a second to share this out, and we're gonna jump into it, I think. Good morning, everybody. I hope you can hear me. We're gonna get going and see what this thing is. I don't actually know. This is my first time, so we're gonna figure out what's happening. I don't know. Anyways, welcome in, everybody. Thanks for being here. And I also don't know what this music is. This is totally new, so if the music is weird, I'm sorry. But let's jump in. So, well, that's not right. Better? There we go. All right, so I had this idea, and I was looking at this on Riverbend. Actually, let's jump into the game and show what Riverbend is, what it has. But the idea here, and the thing I'm trying to solve, and I would figured you guys would like to probably solve it with me, is what is a heap spawner? I know what it is technically, but what is it? What does the game think it is? How does the stone just magically appear on Riverbend? Let's jump into the game if the game ever loads, and we'll figure that out. Got my coffee. It's early. Good morning. So we're gonna come in and start a new game on Riverbend just for funsies. We're gonna deselect all. Except for this one for now. And then we don't have yeah, that's the only one I really need. Maybe that. Start. All right. Still my wrong resolution. We gotta fix the resolution for next time. Actually, we have to fix it afterwards. Doesn't matter. See the circle? See how the circle's like twisted? It's because my laptop doesn't have a 16:9 resolution. It has a slightly different resolution, so when I switch back and forth, resolution's odd. So what is a heap spawner? Why do we care? Why do we care? shoot. Oh, it's by the river. So we're going to come down here to the Lime Station 4. There's a lot of lime stations on this map. And if you didn't know, all the lime stations that are on this map now have, they all have fertilizer too, which is nice. It's still pretty expensive, and this model looks really familiar. It looks really a lot like the one that 82 Studios just released, but this is bigger somehow. Anyways, see this? See what's going on here? See the rocks just kind of like splooging out of this thing, right? And then they're forming a little pile here, and if we buy, like, you know, a skid steer or something, right? We're gonna buy a skid steer, yes, whatever. And then we're gonna come in here to skid steered loader tools. Got a bucket. I guess that's the only bucket I can get. Buy, yes, okay. If we come back with our skid steer, we should be able to scoop that stuff up. And so basically what it is an infinite supply of a product. And it was first that concept, which is the closest field to there. So GS teleport to, and we'll just drive over. So this concept was first introduced in Silver Run Forest, where we had the iron mine just kind of splooging out of wherever it was splooging out of, and it was forming a little pile. This is the pile, and the pile looks better now, honestly. If we take our bucket, come in here, there's a bug in the game which says you're not allowed to scoop it, right? So we could probably fix that. I mean, this one problem with this heap spawner that doesn't make sense is, like, I should be able to scoop this. Isn't it free? I can't own this land. Oh, I think I have to buy the cement factory before I can scoop that. Let's buy it. Okay, we don't have enough money. Let's add money. Now, if we buy the cement factory, can we scoop it? We still can't scoop it. Well, that's kind of dumb, Giants. Like, why can't I scoop this? That's pretty dumb. But we can always fix that. But we don't even want it on this map. So the idea here is this is like a spawn of rocks that's infinite. And we should be able to control how many rocks spawn. So what I want to do, and I'd like to do, is I want to take this heap spawner thing, and I want to put it on Hutan Pantai, because Hutan Pantai doesn't have one. And I want Hutan Pantai to have one. So how do I do that? I can't even scoop the rocks here. I can't believe this is still a bug this far in. Does anyone know how to get this thing to work? Like, I've bought the factory. I own the property. I own this. Is there a property to buy? There's no property here. Does anyone know if this just doesn't work? This should be scoopable. Giants, you fail at whatever it is you're doing. I don't know what you're doing because you fail at it. That's dumb. Alright, let's make it work. How do I do that? Alright. So we don't need the game right now. We can quit out of the game. Not even going to save what I was doing. So I've drilled down into the dredging boat place in the map. And as you can see, the idea of the dredging boat is the boat is dredging and it's pumping in rocky water through this pipe. And then it's getting filtered by this thing. The water doesn't go anywhere. Maybe the water comes in and out of the same pipe, which, by the way, doesn't make sense, Giants. That's not how the world works. It would need to have rocky water come in and then have water go back out. So there would need to be two pipes. That's just kind of how dredging works as far as I know. But I don't want the whole thing. I just want the inside part. And Giants actually gave us something that's kind of close to it, which is this, which is the stone quarry. So they have a thing you can place, which is a stone quarry, which placeable is brandless. So let's see what the stone quarry looks like. I don't know what it looks like because I've never seen it. Production points generic. Why it's not in the same folder, I don't know. So this is the generic production point that Giants created, which does the same thing. Now, what does this look like? Same thing. Coming from somewhere and then getting dumped out here. This is like as if there was the mine. They put in one of their like manure pits. That's literally what this is. Visuals. That's the stone quarry itself. This is the heap spawner, right? Teleport node effects. The heap spawner is literally just this point to this, and then what it contains is a bunch of stuff. So if we look at the details of what the heap spawner is, right? It is, heap spawner is this piece right here, right? We have a teleport node, which is where you teleport to. Why that's part of the heap spawner, I don't know. That's just kind of dumb. The lizard forge pickup works for it, yeah. But it doesn't work out of base game, which is just stupid. We could probably fix it, but we can do that next time. It has a belt, and this is a belt effect. So this belt effect is just like a normal belt effect, where you have something moving on a belt. In this case, this is just going to be rocks moving along this flat path. This thing right here, this which looks weird, but if you rotate around it, it is a circle. It just only shows you in the game the part that you can see. If you look at it from the top, see, it's a circle, or not circle. It's a round-ish object that is. This is the smoke. So the smoke that you see when it's spawning. This piece right here is the effect particle, and I'm assuming this is the waterfall of rocks. It's coming off, which makes sense. Then the spawn area. My question is, did they separate it, or is it all one building? Props. Dredging boat eaves. See, they even use the same things as before. Like, this is just a different look for the same building that was on the dredging boat. See, this calls dredging boat eaves. That's from the other one. That's silly. Props. So the props for it is the same thing I highlighted before, which is this piece and this. But I wish I could separate these two things. Like, I don't know how. That's something that's past my knowledge level. But really, the only part we want is this piece right here, and we just need a way to spawn rocks that isn't gigantic. But this one's not bad. So let's just take this one right now and let's mess with it and see if we can change how it works. Okay, let's start there. So we're going to go into our mods. We're going to go into the folder. Live modding. Last time we made the MotorX workshop. We're gonna make now. What are we gonna call this? I don't care what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it the. We're gonna very, very obvious what it's called. This is called a heap spawner. Right? And then we have the same folders as before. We don't need some of these other things that are already here from the last time we were working on it. We don't need those. Goodbye. We need this. And this is going to be our stone quarry. And then we need to save this file in here so we can mess with it. So we're going to come up here. File. Save as. We haven't broken anything yet. We're just going to save it as. And come in here to live modding. And heap spawner. And this. And I believe it's called stone quarry. Okay, now it's ours. Now we can do whatever we want with it. Now let's look at the spawn area. So the spawn area for this one is the entire size of this thingy. The rocks only come over here, but they made it a rectangular spawn area. So the way spawn areas work is a spawn area has a start point. See the start point? The area, the direction of the arrows don't really matter. They can be any direction you want, but the other 2 points, since they're inside this node, they're relative to this node. So if I rotate this node like this, then the spawn area is now going to be at an angle. I obviously don't want that, but that's how it works. So if you rotate or move the original node, if I take this original node and I move it over here, all I did was move it in the X direction pretty far. If I look at the spawn area now, it's not in the right place, right? So you don't want to do that. You just want to leave it alone. But they're making the spawn area this whole thing, which makes sense. I like that. And then this is the concrete box. If we wanted like this box to be bigger or something like that, and we wanted like the spawn area to be bigger, like we could take this concrete box and we could do this. Nope. Probably Z. Nope. That's not right. Let's say we wanted it to be just a little bit bigger. We're going to make a change to it. I want... Sure. This is the spawn area now for our stuff. Now, we are obviously stretching this. It's not going to look perfect, but just for the sake of argument, that's how we're going to do it. So we're going to make our spawn area bigger. We're going to make it hold more rocks. We're going to make more rocks come out faster. And then we're going to see what it looks like in game. So the first thing I did was make the concrete box bigger. Normally, you'd go into Blender and change this or put a different object in or change what it looks like and then come back in. We're just doing GE stuff today. And now we need to fix the spawn areas. So the spawn areas are no longer accurate. So we're going to move that spawn area. That's the height, or that's the X coordinate. And when we move stuff in the XY plane, you kind of, if you can, be above it. And the reason you want to be above it is because when you're above it, you can see where it is in space. So what I'm doing is I'm using the scroll wheel of the mouse and I'm just moving in space. So it looks like they have it spawning a little bit inside the walls, which I don't get. Let's go to that one. And then over here, there. The height should be the same. All we do is make it wider. Perfect. Save. And then we can go back to XML. We're going to leave that open for now. We're We're going to come into here to Stone Quarry. This is the one in the base game. Copy. And then we're going to try to understand what any of this means. File. New window. File. Open folder. Okay, so now we have our heap spawner and we have the stone quarry. And we're just going to paste it all in. We didn't really change much, honestly. I don't like the fact that it's called a debris crusher. This should be called a stone quarry because it doesn't actually crush anything. It's spawning. It's creating. But let's look and understand what not any of this means. First of all, 100 grand's okay, I guess. First of all, we've changed this path right here. So we want this to say I3D. Because we want to point to our stone quarry, not the base game one. If we point to the base game one, it wouldn't see our changes, so we wouldn't have any idea. If we're making our own mod, you can just get deleting all this vertex, buffer, memory, blah, blah, blah stuff. None of it matters. Now here's the heap spawner, and this is the key. So I'm going to kind of like minimize everything else and only care about that. Let's look and see what this says. Spawn area, fill type stone. Could I just do that? Yes, you can. It actually will work. So you could just tell it to like fill with wheat, and it will. You could have this be lime. You could have it be iron ore, which I believe is still in the game. It'll just spawn ore. Right? Everything else is the same, but we're going to leave it as stone for now. Liters per hour, 2,000 liters per hour. That's one bucket full of my scooper, of my skid steer, or 2 buckets of a skid steer per hour. Seems, let's just say that this is a really fast stone quarry, and we're going to make it up to 20,000. Right? And then come down here. Stone quarry. Change this icon to be blank. And change this to be stone quarry. This needs to be 94 now. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of cleaning up stuff. What does this mean? This stuff means the title is what's shown in the store. I'm sorry, in the mod page when you're choosing your mods. So this title right here does not affect what's shown in the store when you're placing it. This only affects, this is the mod name. So this is our mod desk. It's describing the mod itself. The title is the mod's name. And each, you can have it in multiple languages, and this is how they do the title in multiple languages. This is actually kind of old. I would prefer that it use the translation file, but whatever. The icon, I have a blank DDS file which has no look. We'll create our own icon at some point, but right now we're just going to use that because that makes sense. And then this is what we're loading. So this basically says put this file in the store when you get into the game. So this file has to be within our own mod. But if you look at other mods we worked on, like this one, we're making the SKH60. And so it has to refer to, it's what goes into the store that allows you to buy something. So in this case, even though our mod is called Heap Spawner, we can call this whatever we want. And it can be in any language we want. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter. But this file has to exactly match this file. Those two things have to match or else it won't work. Okay? And then let's make sure our game settings are set correctly. They're not. This is how I change my resolution without having to use the menus in the game because the menus in the game are slow. All Alright, so now we're going to go back in and see if what we did worked. So we should have a new mod available to select. It's going to be called Stone Quarry, not Heap Spawner. And then we're going to try to put it in the game. I want to put it on Hutan Pantai. So we're going to log into Hutan Pantai in a new playthrough. But the reason I wanted to do it is because I want there to be a heap spawner on Hutan. To me, that there isn't one. And there's a lot of stuff about Hutan that doesn't make sense to me. Number one, you don't have the same kind of quarry kind of stuff. They didn't figure something out to do it. But Hutan still requires. So if we switch over to Hutan. Now we have our stone quarry mod. Use that one again. That one was fun. We have our stone quarry mod. Obviously, there's no thumbnail, but we can make one whenever we want. But we're going to log into Hutan. Now, I don't know where a stone quarry should go on Hutan. That's... you'd have to place one on land you own. So initially, when we're messing with it, we're going to place it on land we own. Eventually, we will find a way around that. Let's say, just for fun, we're going to ignore the guy who's waiting to talk to us. And we're going to walk really slowly, even though I'm running. We're going to come over here and put a stone heap spawner where this greenhouse is. Okay? So let's go in here. So construction, sell, I don't care. Perfect. Why they didn't paint the ground underneath this the same texture is beyond me. That's just like super ultra laziness. So if we want to go into productions, factories, where is this thing gonna exist? I don't even know. Is it a selling point? No. Greenhouse? No. Cultivation? Generator, maybe? I don't even know where it was. So let's go back to our code and let's look where it is. How do you tell? So if you go over here to your store data, it says placeable production points. And then you have to make sure it says show in store equals true. If it's show in store does not equal true, then you won't be able to see it in your game. So this is going to be in production points, I guess. Factories. Maybe I scrolled past it without realizing it because I didn't change the thumbnail yet. So the thumbnail is going to be whatever Giant's thumbnail was. And it should be at the end. Maybe this is it. Oh, this is it. So it's right here. So, okay. So this is the one we made. This is our stone quarry. It's not called the debris crusher. It's called a stone quarry. That's super annoying. Do you see how it's only going on the 90-degree rotation? We can fix that. But for now, I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this. And we're going to place it right here. Shazam. Okay, so what did we get? Let's look. This is spawning like this. The rocks are hitting the ground. It's actually spawning out pretty fast. And this is the one that comes from Giants. I actually don't mind this model. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it works. But I love how fast it's coming out. And then this thing right here, which is the thing we made bigger, it doesn't look bad. It's a little bit stretched. Like if you look up real close, you can tell it's a little bit stretched, but it's not bad. Let's make sure it's scoopable. I don't think I have a skid steer or anything, so let's buy a skid steer again. And the quickest way to get the skid steer back is not to drive it there. That would take forever. But it's to look at our map. realize that we want to go right next to field 30 and then just do GS 30. And we're destroying our rice field. Don't care. So now... Really? So now, look how fast this is coming out. I like it. And now, unlike Riverbend, see how I can scoop it? And I can move it to the back. And I've picked up rocks. And now I would need a cement factory to be able to do something with those rocks. That works. We forgot something. So what do we forget? Does anyone notice? We forgot the collisions. Oops. Let's fix that. Actually, let's save. So file, save. I don't think you can reload placeables, so we're going to exit out. And what did we miss? We missed something. We missed a collision. So where's the collision? Concrete box. And then for some reason they don't put the collisions with each other. Now see how they... So dumb. Giants, why do you always do this to me? Giants loves making their collision objects like super, super ultra specific. Like the entire collision for this entire thing is all one object. That's maddening. See, I just wanted like something small. I just want like this piece to spawn out. I don't want all this other stuff. I want to be able to put it on another building. Like I want to like just put it on the wall, a wall somewhere, or like a rock wall. That's what I want. So let's do that. Let's get rid of everything. Let's make it simpler. And let's make it as if the rock's coming out of a wall. Let's do that. So first of all, delete the collisions. Goodbye. Stone quarry, stone quarry. This is the prop we want. And this, none of this we want. This one, don't want that. Why did that not go away? I swear I'm hitting the delete key. There we go. Delete. 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 Cool. Move this up here. Delete. Delete, delete, delete. Props. What is this thing? Oh, self-illume interior. Okay, you're welcome. Goodbye. Whoa! Wait. Undo. I selected more than one thing. Delete. Whoops. Why? Rank has a question while I'm deleting stuff. What's your question, Rank? I don't care about seasons. I don't care about an occluder. This and this. I move this up to here, and then I Delete that. Oh, that's what I wanted. Delete that. Sweet. Now we have a very simplified stone quarry. I don't want this. Concrete blocks don't matter. The question is if you have this fermenting silo mod that you downloaded and it doesn't have an unload trigger, you have to use a silage blower to fill the fermenting silo. Yeah, it's totally possible to add an unload trigger. Just add one. We've talked about that before, Outlaw. Just open something else that has the type of unload trigger you want. Take that unload trigger, export it, like go in here and like, oh, but like pretend that this trigger is the unloading trigger you want in another mod. Take an unloading trigger you want, file, export selection, put it where you want it, and then import it into the other thing. The thing is that other mod does have an unloading trigger. I guarantee it. Because it's forcing you to use a blower. So the unloading trigger is in the little hole where the blower would blow into. That's where the unloading trigger is. It's just not on the ground. So if you want one on the ground, put one on the ground. Copy it from another mod, just copy paste it. We can talk about that if you want, but not right now. So this isn't centered around the thing and like all of our visuals, like everything, including the spawn area, I want to be like, I want it to be centered on the spawn point. So I want this to be the center. And the fact that this and this are like one thing is pretty annoying to me. I wonder if we could fix it real quick. I don't know. Let's see if my blenders. I don't know if my blender skills are up to the task, but I'm gonna try it real quick. If I can't do it in like 5 minutes, we're gonna pretend that it didn't happen. So export selection, wavefront object. Stone quarry output, save. What? Why does it not want to open Blender? Oh, that's because I had to install it manually. I should be able to just open it from the file. Yeah, let's open it from here. Anthits asks a question. Rigid body and collision is not working. Yes, you can do a rigid body. Like I could turn this thing right here into a rigid body by going to here and just going to rigid body, and it would create collisions. Giants doesn't like that. They want separate objects for collision because a rigid body for this is a very complex rigid body, and they would much rather a simplified collision, so they don't have to detect like if you put the pipe of something through the hole of this thing, does it collide or not? Like that's too much work from a collision detection standpoint, so they don't want to do that. What just happened? Why didn't it open my file? Open the file. YouTube, my modding, Heap Spawner, this, open. Apparently Blender doesn't like me. Well, I guess we're not going to fix it. But can I just like do this on like a regular building? That's what I want to know. It's like, can I have this little spawner, and this spawn area is here. So this is our spawn area is now, it's still the same size that it was. So we're going to make this square. We're going to make the spawn area square. So 10 by 10 , and start there. Um, where's this relative to? That's stupid. It's the okay, this is one thing I don't like about the way Giants does stuff. Sometimes they're just dumb. But I get it, I guess. Whatever. It's in the right place, I guess. So now we have our own spawner, which doesn't have a building associated with it, which is just, it's much smaller, it's much more compact. Except for this part right here, which I can't open Blender right now, so I can't fix it. Let's see what happens if I go into game. It's going to look silly, but let's go back in the game and see what happens. So what did I do, and how did I fix it? Did I save 1049? Yes, I did. I have an idea for where this can go on Hutan already. Oh, we should also talk about how to fix the one that's on Riverbend. Yeah, you can fix the one. I'm pretty sure that Riverbend, just for the sake of conversation, this is not the stone quarry. If we go to placeables, map US, what's it called? Cement factory, production point, pallet spawner. We'd have to find that heap spawner within this the thing, the map US stuff, and then make it so we were the owner of it. So you're automatically the owner of it, even though it's not really a production, but it is a placeable because it has to be placeable. So where is it? We'll find that in a minute. Did the game start already? Sweet, game started. Dredging boat. Thanks, Optimus. Let's go look at our heap spawner and see what we did to it. I think we totally broke it, which is fine. We did what we wanted. All right, so we placed it before, and it had a lot of stuff, and now it's just this piece, which is all I wanted. Right? It's just this, because that means that if I place this, I can place this on something else. So I can take and I can move the heap spawner. So let's go in here, and this is why I wanted it. Sell. Whatever. Object has been sold. But the stuff that's on the ground is already mine. But now, this is still on our land. Right? Come down here, come all the way down here. It's a wrong screenshot. Doesn't matter. Don't care. Yeah, I know. B. I mean, this land is not owned by me. I just want this to come out of the wall. And it's like not letting me. There's like a collision here or something. Here we go. So now the problem is I can't rotate it properly. And I would need a straight wall. That wall is not straight enough. But I could technically just do this. Whoops. Come on. I could just do this. And the reason it's going upwards is because the 0 area is not where I want it. So I want the 0 area somewhere else. Okay, we can fix a couple things. So first of all, we can't rotate it, which is super annoying. Why is that? Why can't you rotate it? That's really easy, actually. Go Stone Quarry, live modding. See how this thing says is position snap angle 90. Use manual rotation true. Use random rotation false. But it's snapping at 90-degree angles. And it has a snap size of 0.5. So snap size is like how much forward, left, right, forward, back that it snaps to. So it's snapping to a half grid, which is kind of how it like feels like it's snapping. We don't want that, so we're just going to take that out. Goodbye. And the rotation snap angle, we don't want that. Goodbye. Save. And then this stuff, we don't want level areas, and we don't want paint areas. Goodbye. We don't need any of those. For it to work the way we want it to work, we don't need those things. Indoor areas. Goodbye. Tip occlusion update areas. I'm going to leave that one alone for now. We might have to fix that. And if we go back into our model, we want it to kind of sink into whatever we're placing. So we want like the position of it to be more like this way. So we're going to move the whole thing. The whole thing. Let's do this. This can move into here. This, goodbye. Much simpler now. Edit, freeze transformations, translate, apply, close. Now it's a 0, 0. It was 0, 0 before I moved it. And I want it to move back a little bit. So I want it to kind of, the 0, 0 to be underneath on the ground outside the wall, and this to sink in the wall. So I want that like that. Save. And I don't know if this is going to work. GS. No. Optimus, I don't know. Anything that's related to, for some reason, everything related to manure pits is all snapping at 90 degrees. I don't understand that. I personally like snapping. So here's my argument for snapping. I think everything should snap. And the game logic doesn't allow you to snap to other things. Like, it's because, like, what I'm doing here, actually, let's just, I don't know how if I can store items, reload. Now, does that mean that it's going to load my heap spawner again? There we go. See, now it's like loading wherever I want, and it's letting me stick it in the wall a little bit more, which is kind of what I wanted. But it could be any building that I'm putting this thing on. Unfortunately, it has the little awning also. But we could just do this. That. It's still clearing the land. We must have forgotten the clear one. But and so that works. And then none of the stuff is working anymore, because I changed the shape of my nodes. So the reason why this cloud is showing up as this is because I changed the shape of my node. I changed the shape of this. So the heap spawner itself is now at 080. And if we look at the code, when this happens, this is not a bad thing. This is just because you changed stuff and I was just willy-nilly deleting stuff like it was fun to do. So like as an example, we don't need the interior anymore because we deleted it. Teleport node is fine. Belt, like this belt 0811, that path is probably wrong. Yeah, see it's 08. So all of these paths are now wrong. See how it says 08. Here, let me make that bigger, sorry. See how the belt says 08110 in that order? And if I hit paste, it's 0801 because I changed the order of this visuals category by deleting the one above it. So now all of the paths for all of these things are all wrong now. So I have to update them all. But I can do that pretty simply because I know it was 01, and I can just do this. Doop, save, and everything should be fine. Clear areas. I left the clear areas alone. The clear area is what clears the ground and the weeds and the trees and stuff like that underneath. Since I'm not using clear areas anymore, I don't need them. Just comment that out. Level areas. Comment that out. Paint areas. Comment that out. Indoor areas. Don't need that. Comment that out. I'm not deleting it in case I need it. And then so I've simplified it, right? We have a lot less stuff. Save. Now this won't reload until I delete it and replace it. So construction, cell, yes, goodbye. And then to make sure our clear area fix works, let's paint down something real quick. So I actually prefer, like when I'm building stuff, sometimes I like to actually make it snap to like a 1 degree. 1 degree, sometimes 5 degrees, depending on what it is. I know this this doesn't look good, but the point is that it's not going to clear this stuff. Right. So we're going to go GS store items reload. Okay. And then we're going to place our thing again. And see, now it's working. We see the animation. We see it coming through. And now, divide by 0 error. So now it's giving me an error of some kind. And now we debug that error, right? What is that error? It says, placeable heap spawner on update tick. FS base mission. Script error. It's something with the heap spawner isn't set up right. We broke the heap spawner somehow. Spawn area 1. Scrolling animation belt. Belt is fine. What is that? I don't look at this error. This is a fun error. Errors are not bad. Errors are just the game telling you that you did something wrong. So if we look at the errors, these are all the errors. Scroll down. We have this kind of thing that doesn't like you. Divide by 0 dimensions. We have a lot of them. A lot of them. Divide by 0. I think it has to do something with the fact that we were live editing. So let's exit out and come back in. Let's see if it worked. Go away. Okay, the error is happening over and over, so it's kind of going to cause this thing to always be there. But we're going to quit out and come back in, see if it helps. But yeah, so like if I want 2 buildings to make sure that they line up and they're 2 different placeables, sometimes I will set the positioning. I'll set the position snap, or I won't set the position snap. I'll set the rotation snap, because the thing that really matters to me is I can align them visually, but the rotation snap, if one of them's at like 90.1 degrees and one of them's at like 90.2 degrees, it's just slightly off. And maybe at the very point of where you place it, that's fine. But you know, 10 meters or 100 meters that direction, that's a gap of a meter. So you want those angles to be perfect. So I'll set the snap angle to like 1 degree. So it'll snap at 90, 91, 92, 93. And so when I place two buildings, as long as they both have the same snap angle settings, you can get them to align much better. Divide by zero error. Density map. I don't know what any of that means. All right, let's see here. Do we need to fix anything else? Spawn area width. Spawn area start. Let's make sure these numbers are right. Spawn area start 01. Is that still where I think it is? Spawn area start 01. 08020. 08020. Okay. These are all where they should be. I think it just didn't like the fact that I was removing all of this stuff when some of it was still being referenced. And then this one, it doesn't like that, so we have to remove that. Oh, that's cool. That's how you turn lights on. Nice. We don't have any lights anymore because we removed the building and the lights, so we can just do that. Don't care. Require leveling. False. There you go. Just breaking stuff left and right. That's what I'm doing. All right. Let's see if that worked. Now we're going to go back in the game. Yeah, exactly. Like, because it doesn't make sense, Optimus, if you allow one type of a building that's supposed to align to another type of a building not to share the same rotational attributes. That doesn't make sense. And I think that's like something that Giants just misses or doesn't understand, or I don't know how they can be this far into the game and not understand that. That's a little bit beyond me. But whatever. Outlaw, if you're still there, send me a DM with that mod and I'll show you live how to fix it. It only takes like 5 minutes. I'm almost done with this thing. So if you can send it to me in the next 5-10 minutes, I'll show you how to fix it. I'll show everyone. So we're going back in with our stone quarry, which now is just the spawning thingy. You could create a thumbnail for it now too. I really want to remove that, like the extra piece. Like that's I don't need that anymore. But I have to get Blender to work, and it looks like Blender's not working for me. Which is fine. Now, see, it's giving me a divide by zero error. I broke something. Yeah, see, it is showing the animation, but there's nothing showing up on the ground. And I suspect the reason for that is because this heap spawner doesn't understand that it's floating in the air and that it needs to actually put it down on the ground, because so the ground level for this thing is right here, and the ground level for it over here is, let's prove that point. Let's go into construction. Let's delete it. Sell. Yes. Okay. And then if I'm right, this will still work without the errors coming in if I place it on flat ground. Nope. Totally broke it. I mean, it looks nice, but it's totally foobar. Get line area dimensions. Get line area. Let's look. Spawn area for the heap spawner. Spawn area start 1. Oh, that's why. Oh, we totally messed up our heap spawner. Duh. That's look. So the reason it's breaking, you guys, we must have hit reset and it did something. When we hit reset on this thing, it must have done something to our spawn area. Because now the spawn area start and the spawn area end, and these are all the same. Right? Which kind of is silly. So we actually want this to be the width to be 10 and the height to be 10. Oops, no. 0. So we can actually fix that. The width to be 10. And then the spawn area itself, we're going to move it to be here, maybe? That's huge. It's much too big. 10 is too big. Let's do 7. And 7. And the spawn area should be like right here. There. We can use our grid to help align it. So our grid is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we want to be on roughly 3.5. 2.5. You want this one to be... Yeah, that's fine. Save. Hold on. Back. GS store. No, still doesn't like it. It's really mad at me now. Construction. Let me delete it first. Sell. Yep. Sell. Gone. Alright. Let's see if we can get it to work. GS store items. Reload. It's going to reload all that stuff. Construction. What the hell? If I can get into the right menu here. Stone quarry. Now it's there, but it's not showing an error. Put it back on the building, actually. And now it's actually working. And it's not only that, it's making a heap on a hill. And it didn't get rid of our grass and stuff like that. We fixed the error. And the reason I fixed the error and how I figured that out is that when I looked at the log, I saw this divide by 0. Get the line area dimensions. So the area in which the dimensions of the area you're supposed to be spawning into, maybe I didn't have that set right. So I went back in, I checked the model, and sure enough, I had somehow reset all of the spawn areas to be wrong. So now we have rocks just forming out of this building right here, which is kind of silly, but cool at the same time. But how would this be useful? One way that this thing would be useful is with another mod. So let's go here and we'll go back to finish. We're gonna go into the conversation Optimus started, which is the snapping. All right, so save, quit, and we're gonna grab another mod that I edited from someone else, and we're gonna put the two mods together, and I'm gonna show you why the snapping is important. Okay, so we're gonna come in here and go to edits. This copy and YouTube, live modding, paste. All right, so we have 2 mods now in our folder. We have the Heap Spawner, and we're gonna call that, let's call that the Stone Spawner. Let's go in here, close that. Yeah, we'll just leave it. We don't even need to rename it. We have a second one in here that we're talking about, the Cement Factory. Now, the Cement Factory is basically a smaller cement factory that I got from someone else. It's basically the cement factory off of Riverbend that someone created a mod for. Fine. If we look at its placement, see how it says use random Y rotation false, use manual Y rotation true. So this one is going to be able to be perfectly rotatable in all directions. 100% rotation. I think that maybe that's not the best thing. And we actually want the rotation that was here, which is, copy it from here. Where's the stone factory? Brandless. Brandless. Production points generic. Stone quarry. This one. So production snaps, placement snap size we don't want. The rotation angle one we do want. So we're gonna copy this. Come in here and we're gonna set both our stone quarry. We're gonna set this to 5. It can be, we can set it to 0 if we want. We're gonna set it to 5. And then we're gonna come in here to our cement factory, which I've already placed on my playthrough, and set it also to 5. Save. Now we're gonna go into the game. Actually, let's make a thumbnail while we're at it. FS icon generator. We're gonna come in here for our wrong folder. Live modding, select. Now it sees our heap spawner. This one. Generate a store icon for it. It's gonna look really weird, but that's okay. And maybe over the next couple days or something like that, I can redo okay. It created, I bet you I created icons in the root directory, which is fine. It's not what I wanted, but it's fine. So we're just gonna call this that. Reload this. Do it one more time. When you generate a thumbnail, it uses the path that's right here, store data image. That's where it puts a new image. So the reason it didn't generate an image last time is because I had it in the wrong place. So if we look at it, this is our new store data, which is fine. And then if we come in here, we go to mod icon, I'll create a mod icon. And what I'm going to do is basically take that massive thing and turn it into something small by doing what I'm doing. Let's see how we can do that. And now we can go into the game. We're done? Actually, no, we're not. Damn it. We missed something. We missed this. Icon, stone... Save. It's not going to show up in the game because I did it after I launched the game. Gotta be careful about that. This is why I launch the game so much and then come back in and out all the time. I'm going to go back out one more time and launch the game one more time. Just make sure I get the clean build with our current icon, which is what I want. And it looks like Rank's not here because he didn't get a message, so. Rank, if you do want me to send you, if you want to send that to me, I've got a few minutes. I can show you how to fix that trigger and what I was talking about. It'll be much easier to show you and everyone versus not. So we also want the cement factory, which is this building right here. And this is why you'd want two different buildings that are designed to go together with two different mods to have the same rotation. This is what we're talking about with Optimus. I think all of these buildings should be placeable. Every single building in the town should be a placeable. Okay. So we have our heap spawner. We go into the store now. Here, construction. Here, we should have two mods. Now, see, our new icon is there, and the icon for this one is there. So now, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Sell. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to make a set of icons, a set of mods that are designed to go together. Okay. So when I rotate this, you see how it's like not perfectly smooth, but it's just kind of that's because it's set on 5 degrees. Personally, I think 5 degrees isn't bad at all. It lets you get something perfectly straight, like with the game's map lines, but it also gives you a full rotation. So 5 degrees for me is good enough. But we're gonna put this right here. Let's make sure it's on the line of the map. Perfect. Put that right there. Whatever. Line. Place that. Then we're going to take our heap spawner and place it on the back of the building. Now the heap spawner is too big. It's too tall. So let's change it. So right now the heap spawner is too tall. Let's make it not as tall. Because we have control. It's our mod. We can do whatever we want. So this, we have to move the whole visual down. So let's take a look at it. Make sure we're not doing it too far down. Let's do it about there. Save. Go back into the game. Here. And GS. Okay. We've got like piles of rocks all over the place here. And is this the new height? I thought this is the same height as it was before. This isn't bad. But if you see how like I want that ledge to be perfectly along the wall. And right now it is. So we want this to be like this. Will it fit on the wall is the question. It will. And then because it's overlapping, that's fine. Hit B. A. Now I have this thing. We'll pretend that it's coming in from a pipe in the behind the building. If we wanted to, we could always add a pipe. So it's coming up from the building. And it's spawning stones out of this little building. This is our spawner, and this is our production plant. So we can come over here to this. And we can just do this. I can't actually lift this up because it's too much for this little skid steer. But I've basically scooped up rocks. I suck at skid steer usage, so I'm sorry. Come in here. It's spawning rocks out of the back of our cement factory. and then we're dumping them into the cement factory. If we look, the only one that shows up here is a cement factory because the heap spawner is not a cement factory. And now it's getting rocks. I put 1,300 liters of rocks in there. And there you go. And we could make this even simpler. Right? This whole big thing is huge. If we wanted to, we could take away the belts part of it and just have like a little pipe that sticks out of the building or something like that. That, you know, is that visual. This is running really slow because the game is still running. But like I'm on... Where's a factory? Need a factory or a silo or something. This is how I think about this stuff. No, it's not what I want. There. That's what I want. I want this building. Nope. Not that building. I'm looking for something specific that I've seen at a couple places in the game. I'm looking for an air conditioning vent. This is where I'm going to find it. No. I'm not seeing it really quickly. I was looking for a pipe. A short length of pipe with a curve to it. So I could just have the heap spawner just be like coming out of a thing. But I'm not seeing it right away and it'll take me hours to find it, so. The point is, if we wanted to use this heap spawner so it was just this little piece at the end that was shoving rocks out of a hole in a wall, we could. We don't need the rest of this visuals. We don't need the belt on the top. For that matter, we can't even see the belt. So why are we have the animation of a belt? We could just have this building have a hole in the back of the building and it just be pooping out stones. I mean, you can do whatever you want. And that's the point here. And that's the point with like making these kind of edits. It's up to you. You do whatever you want. This part allows us to have this production building and this production building, which are two different buildings, work together. And the only way we got that to happen is because we put the same rotation, so the same position snap angles. They both snapped to 0 degrees or 5 degrees or 10 degrees or whatever, and we got them to snap together, and that's the only reason that works. And so this, as far as I'm concerned, is a pretty effective, very simple heap spawner. We could make it even simpler by just making it, I don't know, like, it depends on what you want for a visual, right? I mean, you could do like this thing right here. You could have this be a heap spawner, right? This is the grain elevator. Props. Wait, hold on. Oh. I love how they name stuff. Like if you found the right visual that you want, even if it's just like an open barrel that's attached to the side of the building where just rock is spooging out of, then you could do that. I can't seem to find what I'm looking for really quick, and I don't have anything ready. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh well. But you can do whatever you want, and that's my point, is that this is what the heap spawner is. And if we wanted this heap spawner to spawn something not stones, literally we can do this. Come in here. Save. GS. Store. Items reload. Now see, this one's still spawning stones. But if I put down another one, the new one, because I reloaded the store, the new one is going to spawn lime. It should. And there you go. So now I created a new one, and this one spawns lime. It looks like it spawns stones because this one... Save... Construction. Sell. Yes. Go. This one's now spawning lime. Now, it doesn't have an animation for lime coming out. So this animation, the reason that's not working is because there should be a particle effect for lime, and there isn't. So this effect particle, the one that the node itself, it doesn't support lime. It only supports stones. But as long as you updated that to support stones, you could do it. I'm going to revert what I did because I don't want it to spawn lime. But I could. And you could have it spawn anything, really. This one just happens to be a good particle effect for stone. If you could find a tip effect for lime, you could have a lime factory that just constantly produces lime and spits it out the backside of the factory on your map. Easy enough. No problem. But that's up to you. I hope that... spawning lime really fast. And the new heap spawning is actually really nice. The new heap spawning it's still giving you this weird like triangle shaped thing, but it's a little bit more flexible, I guess. A little bit more dynamic. But that solves that problem. And now I'm on to my next problem. But that's going to be it for me today for this little live modding. That's basically heap spawning and how you can manipulate heap spawners to do what you want. The part that's missing here is, of course, this effect for lime. I'd have to use a different effect. I could probably put a pipe effect here and have a pipe effect like this effect right here. If I change this into, instead of a particle effect, if I change that into a pipe effect, like from an output pipe, and I had it just constantly spouting out lime, you could have a pile of lime on the ground that just constantly outputs. You could create a lime station that instead of... Like, we could take a lime station, add a heap spawner to it, so that it just constantly, it's broken, and it's just constantly spitting out lime. And so all you have to do is walk up to it and scoop it up. It wouldn't fill like you normally do, but you could do that. And that's kind of where you get into this, like, okay, well, I can take this logic, and what can I do with it? You know, could you have a... I don't know, a grain mill that is broken, and there's an animation somewhere that just is spawning out wheat onto a pile on the ground. It's like your waste wheat, or the separator. Remember the separator that was part of Pumps and Hoses? That separator was using this same logic, and it was probably set to like 20 per hour. It was really, really low, but the separator was using the same logic. It was a heap separator, it was set to do liters per hour, blah, blah, blah. It's just the way it worked. So, yeah, that's how it works. I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope you liked the thing we tried to do here. It didn't work out exactly the way I wanted to, but that's okay. We learned a lot. Now we know how it works. And I'm on this map, and I already have this building on this map somewhere else. And this is my cement factory. So now I have the ability, if I wanted to put a rock spawner somewhere on the map. Like, I was thinking, this is where I was thinking. I was thinking, like, somewhere like this, where you have these, like, really hard, almost vertical walls. Like, I could take this farm. Oh, actually, this is a good idea. If I can get that spawner thing to work, here's a good place for it. Right here. Oh, that's a beautiful place for it. Look at this. Look at what I just did. So let's go here. So this is actually what I wanted to do with it. All right, so we're gonna do this. Last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change a couple things. I'm gonna move this back up. Make it pretty high now. Save. GS store items reload. Sell, yes. Okay. Sell, yes. Okay. This is actually what I wanted to do with it. So I'm going to come over here. Construction. And over here on this land, which we own, I want to put this right here. A little bit too high. Down a little bit. Save. Reload. Print. Construction. This is how we add a stone quarry into this map. And it looks legit. Right there. B. Land, I don't care. Buy the land. Construction. No. I want... How do I buy land? Come on, I want this to happen. Buy. Whatever. Construction. And then here? Yes, it is. I own this land. What do you mean I don't own this land? I totally own this land. There must be something else blocking me from placing it right here, I bet. Well, anyways, that would be the idea, is to have it be like this, where it's like a pipe coming out of the rock, and you're just getting a feed of stones. Something like there, or, you know, over here somewhere. Like you have all these rock faces, where you just have a pipe coming out of the rock, which I think would be kind of funny looking. Or here. If we own this land, putting it right here. Let's try that. First of all, let's teleport over there. No, 60. Buy. Did I hit visit or buy? I think I hit visit. Buy. Yes. But I'm here. So if I lived on this farm, one of the features of this farm is going to be an infinite supply of rocks that's just kind of spitting out of the wall. And if I position it right, I can hide the other thing. I actually liked it over here. Over here it looks nice. So this is my new stone quarry. It's going to come with this land. You're welcome. When you buy this land, you have this. So now, this is the idea. And obviously that little ledge doesn't make sense. And it would really be great if this was the only thing. But now, I own this land, and it's just going to spawn rocks. And I don't know why it's not filling up. I could fix that later, but that's the idea. And that would be why you'd want to do this. I bet you there's a something in the game preventing it from there's probably a tip collision in this area, which is silly. But that's why I wanted to do it. I want something like this, that I can own this property. If I buy this property, I get this thing, and then I can get an infinite supply of rocks that I can feed to my other production, because there's no other supply of rocks on this map, which is, to me, kind of dumb. It doesn't make sense that there's no supply of rocks. And I think there should be. And now there is. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming in. Thank you for subscribing, Dan Michael. Another subscriber adding to our wonderful group here. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The best way to reach me when I'm not streaming is on Discord. I'm super active on Discord. Always willing to help. Always willing to answer questions if you have them, which is right there. So if you'd like to join the Discord, feel free. And that's going to be it for me today. I hope everyone has a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm off for the next couple weeks, so you may see more frequent either videos or live streams from me over the next little bit, just because I have some more free time on my hands. And I'm going to be pushing hard to get as many mods in the queue for Giants over the next 2 weeks as I can, just to make sure I'm ahead of the game. But for me, that's going to be it for me today. I want to say thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching. I'll catch everyone next time. Bye-bye. Stupid blender. I gotta fix that. Bye-bye.